Good day, everybody. This is Unit 5, Lesson 48, Chapter 48, page 289 in your book, Accepting Death, Fauré and the Requiem. And there's a wonderful statement here that Gabriel Fauré said, to express that which is within you with sincerity in the clearest and most perfect manner would seem to me always the ultimate goal of art. So, key points in this chapter. In French Romantic music, the mélodie song tradition paralleled the German Lied tradition. Okay, so in other words, the mélodie is the French version of the German Lied. Composer Gabriel Fauré had a complex career as both church musician and conservatory leader. His music exemplifies a 19th century French interest in small and intimate musical forms. And that's a key thing to keep in mind. The Germans had these grandiose, huge things. And yes, there were some French people like Berlioz, for example, who also extended into large orchestra and everything else. But generally speaking, the French liked smaller ensembles and more intimate musical sounds. Fauré's Requiem is a unique contribution to the genre, reflecting the freedom with which late Romantic composers addressed sacred music. So you can read about this Fauré and late French Romanticism, and they do mention that at the bottom of page 289. Art song was very important in French salons and homes, and composers developed the mélodie, a tradition self-consciously separate from the German Lied, to accommodate the unique features of the French language while drawing musical inspiration from the songs of Schubert. Especially in the last quarter of the 1800s, the symbolist poetry of Baudelaire, Stéphane Mallarmé, okay, and Paul Verlaine gave French song composers golden opportunities to explore subtlety and ambiguity in the relationship between words and music. Now, Fauré's Requiem is a gorgeous piece of music. It's really beautifully put together. It takes place on 291 at the bottom of your page 291. It's about 4.5 minutes in length, and there are some really gorgeous moments that take place in this thing. They mention here at the bottom of 290. Fauré wrote his work over a span of more than 20 years, and its structure is far from standard. He used Latin liturgical texts along with texts from the burial service and the office of the dead, but he edited them freely and left out phrases when it suited him. The word requiem, which means rest, pervades the entire work. The Requiem was premiered in 1888 at the Church of La Madeleine in Paris for the funeral of a well known architect. Although it is most often heard today in the full orchestra arrangement, Fauré's original concept was small in scale, comprising a chamber orchestra minus violins and organ with brass added later to brighten the sound. Okay, and you're going to get to hear this. Read through, you'll get an idea. Fauré was a pretty fascinating composer. He is one of the first composers of a new kind of school that's going to come out of France. And as a matter of fact, we're going to run into that in the very next chapter of this book. You will begin to notice that there's a kind of a quality to French music that is uniquely different from German. German music is very heavy. It's very deep. Very dramatic in many cases, very loud, that sort of thing, with huge forces. But the French are actually reacting to it kind of violently, to be honest with you, because Germany was overpowering everything that was going on in Europe at that time, and the French wanted to kind of declare their own independence from German-sounding music. And Fauré is one of the very first composers to do so in the French realm. The next guy that we're going to run into on the next chapter is going to be Claude Debussy, and he's going to create actually a whole new type of musical art. Actually, it's all borrowed from art itself, visual art, paintings and things of that nature, and that is, it's going to be something called Impressionism. So with that being said, please read up, listen to the Fauré very carefully, And I will see you all in a few moments as we get into chapter 49, Mythical Impressions, Program Music at the End of the 19th Century. Study hard.